the JC Newman Cigar Studio in Boston, Massachusetts, and the Gurkha Cigar Studio in beautiful British Columbia. Welcome to the Smokin Tabacco Show with your hosts, Matt Tobacco and Mitchell Santiago.
And good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Smokin Tabacco Show. My name is Matt Tobacco from SmokinTabacco.com. I almost fucked that up. But
Wait, what's your name? Who are you?
My name is Matt Tobacco from SmokinTabacco.com. Got myself there. And I am broadcasting once again live from the JC Newman Cigar Studios. And I'm joined once again by my very good friend, Mr. Mitchell Santiago, also of SmokinTabacco.com, and president of the Michael Bublé fan club, broadcasting live from British Columbia in the Gurkha Cigar Studios. It's a great show. After this show is done, I'm going to pack up all my stuff, and I'm going to take a shower, and I'm going to go to bed because I got a long day tomorrow.
We got a long week.
Well,
we got a long week ahead of us, man.
For the real professionals who like to get in early, tomorrow's a travel day, so
yep.
But that's okay. That's okay. Mitchell will still be there by Friday. That's cool, I guess. He won't miss the opening night party.
Eventually, I'll be there.
I know. It's exciting. I'm tired. It hasn't even started, but I've spent so much time and energy getting ready for the trade show that I'm just exhausted. And
I find sometimes things like this, getting prepared for it, you're just like, and then the moment you hit the floor or the moment it's time to do it, it's you're just flushed with energy and excitement and
there's a lot to take in.
Great cigars.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to take in, and that's why I told Nicole, I'm like, I gotta get some good sleep tonight because if I don't, it's gonna suck. So
yeah,
I gotta get some solid rest tonight. So I gotta take I'm taking some of this with me, not all of it, but some of it has to come with me. So I have to pack some of this up and get it ready to go. But it's exciting. Trade show's happening, and I'll be in town tomorrow, and Mitchell will be there Friday. Kevin already lives there, and that'll be that. So getting ready. There's a lot of stuff to bring and show all of you. Our coverage is once again brought to you by Drew Estate, the rebirth of cigars, for the third year in a row now. Very excited to be partnering up with them. They will be returning to the trade show in 2024. All that good stuff, and we'll have plenty of time to talk about the trade show. But tonight, we have some friends. That's right, plural. Apparently, it became plural right as I started to go live. I don't know what happened here, but we have two friends with us.
Sound like someone was coming in from the kitchen or something like that.
I know. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, unfortunately, some of our guests were just clanging and banging. Well, first, because he's already here and queued up, the first guest is none other than Litto Gomez Jr. of the Flor Dominicana. That's right. Son of Litto Gomez Sr., great tobacco legend. And he is joined by Executive Vice President of Sales, Jonathan M. Carney. La Flor Dominicana is here in the house, broadcasting live from Maine. There he is. Looking good. And they didn't say anything. They're just hanging.
Can you guys, dude, the second that you
Hey,
brought
John.
me in, the quality just dumped down. I didn't look as good. I'm also from Smokin Tabacco. I'm one of the co-founders, Matthew.
That may be true, but when this person is sitting next to you,
the way you introduced John made it sound like he was my handler or some sort, and I'm not a fan of that.
By the way,
I will say that John has massive separation anxiety.
well,
we haven't been together, so we've been traveling together this summer. We've done 3 or 4 trips already. We got 3 or 4 more left. But so his family was on vacation a few weeks back, and then between my vacations and whatnot, we actually haven't really seen each other for the last couple of weeks. So I texted him when they were on vacation. I said, "You never realize how much you miss something until it's gone."
Oh, that's so touching. That's so touching.
But you mentioned something about a handling. Just to let you know, the sound in the background was not from me.
Oh, I know. I know who it was from.
Some serious. There's some knives going on. Someone might have got.
Yeah.
Going on in the house.
Oh yeah.
Who is that?
That's
Is that your mom?
Take a guess. Absolutely not. No, it's a man himself.
Dead.
It's
Yeah,
a jet. Oh.
he's
He's probably trying to create a new ashtray before the trade show to show or something.
So either that, but last time I checked, he's making biscotti because he tried making some yesterday and like he left them in the oven for a little too long. So they came out just like black logs. So right now he's trying to perfect his recipe. He's pretty pissed off he screwed up yesterday.
And homemade biscotti, eh?
Is he trying to
Yeah.
destroy all the plates and stuff in the house too?
Also that, yeah, as per usual. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you for pointing it out. Yeah, I just walked in there. He has like 12 mixers, 5 knives out. It's a fucking.
As soon as the intro came on, it sounded like the Titanic, like the dining room in the
He's
Titanic
making
was
the
sinking,
cure
all
for
the plates
COVID
were
right
rolling
now.
down. Like, what's going on? Is there a ship going
That's
down?
the most
He's creating-
aggressive
he's
biscotti
creating
I've
a
ever
cure
heard
for
be
COVID.
made, though. Yeah. I didn't
Creating a
realize
cure for COVID.
biscotti was like like a full contact baking.
I know.
I didn't know either.
It is in the go.
Your dad's probably putting more into making those biscottis than he has making any cigar. He's like,
Be
I can't fuck this up.
careful,
I gotta get
be
it.
Careful.
Yes. And
Be
here's the thing. Here's the
careful.
thing. You know what? I'm going to tell you guys something. I've been with this family now for 12 years, and I joke around, but it's like, we do get a lot of time. People are like, oh, you guys don't make any cigars, this and that. Like, do you think I would work somewhere for 12 years that didn't make cigars? Like, we're just selling non-existent things. The demand for the product is just so exponentially higher than what we are in size. Part of that's by design to maintain the quality and consistency.
Absolutely.
And, there are some frustrations with that, and we understand it. But, I assure you, every year for the last 29 years has been our best year ever, with the exception of the year of COVID, where it was just a flat year. It was still great. 2020 was flat, but it was our third best year ever. So, we do grow consistent, but the demand for the product is just exponentially higher, which is funny. I know people bust balls, but, I would say the family does, and, his father does spend a lot of time growing the business and a lot of time focusing on that. And thank God he's better than he is with the biscotti this evening.
Well, I
Oh
didn't
my
mean it
God.
like that. I just meant like it seems to me the way that Litto described it, that he was really taking this on. Like, okay, like I got to make this happen. The way he hyped up these biscotti.
He's taking this on just as he takes on everything else on, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're the only one
Yeah.
that gets to try them, though. We don't. So, I mean, that kind of sucks.
All right, super quick appearance from AB Sister Lita. For all you to see.
Well,
Guest
that was
appearance.
cool.
Multiple guest appearances
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah, no.
You never know who you're going to see.
Just get one person. Each person from the family has to make a cameo at some point.
Yeah.
At this point, everybody has. They've all walked behind the back.
Inez just walked right past me. Yeah, this is great.
So,
I
guys,
love being home.
before we get too deep into the show, let's talk about what we're smoking tonight. Obviously, this is an LFD night, and as always, I got John back in here for this one. And as always, if you head over to the number 2 guyscigars.com, you can find an amazing selection of La Flor Dominicana cigars, as well as every kind of brand and accessory out there in the industry available at the number 2 guyscigars.com. Let's see. Litto, I'm going to let you go first. And I'll let you say what you're smoking. Then John can go.
So for my safety, I'm gonna say I'm smoking something that I probably shouldn't be smoking. However, for the record, I do have Oh yeah, hey,
Just
your
fucking up his-
crackers are
just fucking up
catching
his
fire,
interview.
bro. Your crackers are on fire, bro. I smell it. But yeah, so I'm smoking something that I probably should not be smoking. However, I do have a Solis with me, so let's just go with Solis.
Okay. Well, so Litto's smoking unnamed and a Solis that's nearby. John, what are you smoking?
Yeah.
A TAA?
Yeah, I'm smoking TAA, TA49. I had a box of these downstairs in the basement and in my humidor down there. So I've got a humidor here up in Maine that my dad maintains. And when I was asked to be on the show here about 7 o'clock, I set up real quick.
What do you mean? Hold on.
And
What do you mean asked at 7 o'clock? We talked about this earlier today, and you said game
Yeah,
time
John.
decision, and
I
then you
asked
said no.
John, I asked
Now
you
it's I
two
got
weeks
invited at the
ago-
last minute.
John, I asked you 2 weeks ago when we were out in Miami, and you said, yes, I will be on the podcast. Earlier this week, you said, yes, you'd be on the podcast. I hop on. Matt's like, oh, John's not coming. Okay, great.
By the way, so I'm invited to every show technically.
Yeah.
So I still I am invited to every show, so I always know who the guest is. And Wednesdays have been tough recently, but so no, I jumped downstairs. We had the TA-49s down there, and the other funny thing was I was digging through some old stuff, and I'm just looking for the only clothes I have on me are my dress clothes and stuff that's ready for Vegas. And right next to the humidor was a perfectly folded Flor Dominicana cruise shirt. I couldn't believe it. It was like a beacon of hope.
Fits
And I was
like
like,
a
you know
glove,
what?
too.
Like it was meant to be.
It fits
So yeah,
beautifully on you, John.
TA-49. This is San Andreas wrapper, Cameroon binder on this one. One of my favorites, and this is like five years old. So
Yeah, I was
really
gonna say
fun
that
to
would
enjoy
have been before the golden blend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mitchell, what are you smoking?
A double arrow chisel.
Ooh, that's nice. That's nice.
It is.
How
it's
did
a
you
really
cut
good
it?
cigar.
Did you do the double punch or?
I
you
didn't.
split the-
I just chopped the top off.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't do anything fancy today. Sometimes I like to just bite it and see how it draws like that, but
If you
I
give
just
it
chopped the top off.
squeeze, it'll crack, and you can smoke it that way too.
I just
Exactly.
squeeze a chisel every time I smoke it. It's great, regardless.
I am smoking an LFD Limitado.
Nice.
There it is. Delicious.
Does it have a number on it, or does it just say Limitado?
Oh, I'm sorry. Limitado 5.
Okay, awesome. Man, those Limitado 5s, they came out in 2014, I think, Matt, or 15 at the latest.
Yeah.
And they are smoking like the last 3 or 4 years. They've been smoking out of control. And I'm pretty sure I was with you when you picked that one up.
I was gonna say I think I got
it was
this
up in New Hampshire.
either from you
Uh-huh.
or I got it with you.
Yeah, and we were talking. Whatever the circumstances were. I remember we were talking about it. Man, that cigar is incredible. And I haven't had one now for 3 or 4 years. I have some, but it's out of control good.
And the construction and the combustion on this is perfect. Look at that. This is like
Yeah,
almost
that's
a perfect,
beautiful.
perfect stack, perfect burn line. I mean, draws excellent. This cigar is performing very top notch, I have to say. Fantastic cigar. Now, speaking of cigars, let's get back to the show at hand. So, John, obviously, we know you've been on the show many times. We know what your role is. We know what you got going on. But Litto Jr. here, this is his first foray. After two cancellations, almost got blacklisted, but
It was one. It was one.
He's
It
got
was one.
he's got some good friends
That I
who
remember one.
kept him in the green, so I let it slide. But no, I mean, last year we saw you at the trade show, and that was
Yeah.
kind of like, and I know people make jokes, but for lack of a better term, it was kind of like your coming out party, right? You were at the show. I mean, you had the Solis there,
last
and
year's show, and I'll just take off of it, but last year's show, and funny enough, it was actually my 10th show that I had attended at some capacity, and on top of that, which was obviously great, 4 years or first time back in like 3 or 4 years to the show because of COVID, and 1 year we skipped out, and then to top it all off, we dropped the Solis. So yeah, to put it simply, last show was a fever dream, more or less.
okay.
And yeah, so excited for this year, but yeah, dude, last year was something special for sure, and I know John could attest to it too.
Well, John, that was how many shows was that for you?
It was you know what, honestly, it was probably my 10th show too, with the year we missed, and then the COVID year.
Yeah.
So it's probably 10th as well, because I'm in my 13th year, so it would have been 10. So this will be my 11th. So the first show I did was 2011, and that was in Vegas. Um, and that was the year that we were releasing the Colorado Oscuros for the first time, which was really fun. And that's become like a staple. I actually just picked up some today at the cigar shop. They had some of the number 3s, which we haven't had around the last couple of weeks. And so that was the first. It was fun. That was something that's become like a real staple for the way that it was different in terms of what our offerings were. Flavor profiles, heavier Nicaraguan. Not heavy Nicaraguan on like front palate spice, but heavy Nicaraguan on the back palate spice, which is a really different flavor profile than what you get from the back and mid palate spice from our blends. So it was similar concept, different flavor profile. And to fast forward, 12, 13 years down the line with what Litto did with the Solis is a similar type of thing. The reason that's why I kind of compare it where in terms of the actual product itself, the cigar, that you're consuming is, was really different from something we had done before. And
Yes.
It's having similar types of successes now. And, it's been kind of fun. So it's nice to watch 2 different projects like that over a period of those times, especially now that he's been involved in it. It was real fun.
Yeah, it was really cool to see you guys all there together. And Litto, I know you've been to the show before, but it was cool to actually, see you guys all there together, like, all involved. You know what I mean? Like, it was really cool to see you had the Solis on display, and I know you were really excited, and I know you were really proud of that. That cigar came out when that cigar shipped at the end of last year, right? Or was it the beginning of this year? When exactly was that released?
So we shipped it out end of November,
Okay.
closer towards December. So original plan was September, but we had some issues in the factory that we had to take care of prior. So we shipped that out in November. At first, we only shipped because of our inventory standpoint. We only shipped out to Florida.
Okay.
And then closer towards the end of December, January was when we started seeing it ship out towards everywhere.
Now, currently, that cigar is only available in one size. Is there any plans to expand that into multiple sizes?
I'm honestly kind of insulted, Matt. And I'm a big fan of little cigars.
What do you mean you're insulted? That's a very average question to be asked.
If you're insulted by that, just wait for the rest of the show.
And
I know.
We've had this conversation. However, yes. So there's a plan. Are you guys seeing this, by the way?
What's going on back there?
The fucking
it's your dad.
What is he shooting you something?
When you get that,
was that a bubble gun?
Bubble machine. They're bubbles. When have you had that? Is this new? Dude,
So you look at when you're developing other sizes. So like we didn't come out with a smaller size of Lennox for probably about 2 years after Lennox came out. One reason is you want to get a handle on the full size of it. And then also at the same time, smaller sizes are made in cigar blends to use tobacco and be economical and use tobacco that's left over. It's not like you're going to make one cigar, with a digger you kind of do, but you're not making just one cigar to one leaf, so you use smaller blends. So it's going to be a period of time that comes back. But I think Litto would attest to this. A logical progression when you come out with something that's utilizing a new blend is to come up with something else to utilize those tobaccos. So I think it would be similar in that nature, but probably down the road once you get a handle of it.
Very well said, John. Thank you.
So, going off of what John said, yes, it is a plan. If we lived in a perfect world and I had all this set, we would be showing it out this year. But at the same time, the timing lined up right for the LG, and we know that all of you have been craving its return for some time now as well. It's beautiful smoke, and then the next year, we do have something special coming up, which is the 30th anniversary of the company.
That's right.
So, given all these gigantic milestones, it was kind of, you know what? Yes, it's in the plan. We'll do it, but let's hold off for now. I can't say, however, I have been experimenting with it and it tastes phenomenal. So be excited for you got something to wait 3 years
When it does come
for
out,
you draw it up there. Yeah.
we have something to look for. Now you mentioned, I was going to ask this later, but since you kind of already brought it up, you mentioned the LG. I know that today you guys
Yeah.
announced officially you'd be bringing back the LG, and am I right to assume that's going to be on display at the trade show, and you'll be taking
Yes, it
orders
will
for
be.
it at the show,
Yes.
or okay?
So for now, we will only be taking orders at so we won't be doing any pre-show sales of
Okay.
the product. It starts on Saturday. It goes to the show, and then it will be open for those who have not attended or um, communicated with their sales reps after the show. And yeah, so the LG, this was a huge line for us. This is basically the heart and soul of LFD, just because it's pure tobacco from a farm.
Yep.
On top of that, it was a line that helped us become what we are today. And kind of going off that, for the past, and I know, John, I know you know this, Matt. I know you probably heard this for the past 10 years. My dad has been experimenting on creating a wrapper that is paper thin,
Mm-hmm.
yet beautiful, yet still have all the flavor. That isn't a true LFD. And he was able to achieve that. And it's been aging for around 7 to 8 years now. So we're super excited to be finally showing off this crazy science fair project that turned out miraculous at the show.
So yeah, I was gonna say the last time the LG was released was 2015.
15, yeah.
Yeah. So, that was a while ago, and those cigars are great.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see it coming back, and to try it and see how it stacks up from the last release. Very excited about that, and I think that'll probably be, probably your biggest highlight of the show. I know you kind of mentioned the 30th anniversary of LFD, which is not till next year.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you're not going to say too much about it, but obviously you
No.
guys have something planned
Yeah.
that we'll probably see for the show in 24 in the spring.
Yes. Yeah. So, in terms of that product, obviously, I can't go too into it. However, it'll be something that celebrates us individually and as a family. And rather than just a normal release, it is going to be special. And that's the whole goal behind it. It'll be something that, as an individual, you're going to want to keep and hold on to.
Okay.
So yeah, man, we're excited about it. Yeah, it's
You guys got a lot going on. You
content.
guys have a lot going on. It's
Yeah.
it's awesome. Yeah.
Dude,
Lot to come.
I
Yeah.
got like 12 ideas on the back burner, and I hate it.
Carney, what were you gonna say? I'll let you jump in here.
No, I was gonna say with the LG returning, it's been 8 years, and there's been a lot of changes in in our farm, different projects. So the science, for lack of a better term, it's really been a science fair project that he's been working on the last 8 years since there's been a gap here. So it's really a reintroduction. And that the return of it. I sent some graphic art over to you if you want to show it, but it really is a return, and it's a reintroduction of something that was really heralded when it came out in the mid 2000s, early 2006, I think 5, 6, when it came out fully. So it's really a reintroduction of it. To have something that was that unique and that special, and the reputation of our brand and how it's grown over the last 8 years, specific, 8 years, in the time frame since it's been up, and then the last 15 years is huge. So this is going to be something that's, product wise, really special, unique. There's a lot of new LFD smokers that don't even know what LG
Yeah.
is, and then there's LG smokers who are looking forward to it coming back. So I think this is going to be a huge success. The packaging on it is beautiful. We've narrowed down the sizes. We haven't announced what those sizes are yet. We'll announce it this weekend. But it's it's a little more streamlined. We're going to really make sure it's in the right places and make sure it's in our strong partners and those retailers that really want to get behind it and respect what this product is and the effort that's been put into it for the last 8 years. So
Now, what is
Yeah.
the?
So as requested by my father, and
Yep.
I know how crazy is this. He wanted me to show you from my phone. Granted, what it will look like if you haven't already. So here it is.
I'm trying to get it on the.
Um.
I'm actually trying to get it on the computer now. I just don't know.
Okay.
I sent it to the computer because John texted it to me, but I was trying to get it on here and
He's been yeah.
I
So
airdropped it, but I don't know
Lito's
where it
been
went.
shooting me a text every 5 minutes.
Now is that like a humidor box, or is that just a really beautiful box?
Beautiful box.
All right.
Sorry,
It
guys.
Because I
it,
know.
it can it'll be able to somewhat service. It's not airtight. If you look at the way that it's set up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's mostly airtight, but it's not made to be humidor grade. But it can service as it to an extent. If you're in a nice climate. So everyone that lives in the state of Florida, it'll be a phenomenal humidor.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't get it
Well,
onto the
I wanted
computer.
to I wanted to kind of go back a bit on the Solis, and what was the
Yeah.
blending process like? Like, did did your dad just give you free reign to pick whatever you wanted and go through as many blends as you want?
Yeah.
Did you get some guidance, or you know how
Um.
many did he like
It was
shut
a
down before
huge.
he was like, maybe we'll let you put this into the market?
It was no. It was a huge and I can't lie and say that I thought it would be a lot easier than what it was because it's him of all people. However, the whole blending process it was really I was kind of at the time where I thought that I had realized I was 18 at the time. I'd realized this is something that I will be doing for the rest of my life. It's something I want to do for the rest of my life, and I think it's the appropriate time. I'm 18 now, and I'm ready for this. And kind of what happened was from the years of just smoking, whether it's shrooms or cigars, I kind of had a visual image in my head of what I wanted the blend to be, and I had like a set flavor palette that I was like, you know what, like I like this, and I had like two or three of them too. They're all pretty interchangeable. So when I had the conversation, my father was like, "Yeah, we'll get you started." I showed him, and I'll never forget this. I showed him like my notes, and rather than say anything, he just laughed hysterically, grabbed me by the arm. He's like, "Here, follow me." So we walk into the rolling room at the factory, and I don't know if any of the viewers have been to the factory. In the rolling room, there's a giant stage in the middle of the giant table. So I walk in, and he's leading me to there, and I take a peek at the table. I shit you not, there was a cheroot or cigarillo of every single leaf that we had ever used as a company and had on stock. He's all right, go. I just like turned around, like caving by. I was like, what do you mean? Oh, so yeah, I smoked every single leaf multiple times and kind of just went through, jotted it down in my notes, and yeah, and the funny thing is too, what I walked away with was the complete opposite of what I had planned in my mind. So I am extremely grateful for that process to be my introduction into it all, especially from the blending side of it. And yeah, man, that was kind of it. Obviously, there were moments where, because of COVID and because of shortages, there were moments where we had to go in and revisit and reblend to some extent, which at the end of the day, it turned out better than I could have imagined. But yeah, and all that's just like part of the process as a whole. So,
Yeah,
Nice.
I mean, I have to say, I've smoked a cigar. It's a good cigar. Um,
well, thank you,
exciting.
Matt.
Of course, of course. I've told you this before. Um, the really excited to see you involved. In
Yeah,
the business too, and kind of see you all there, and it's nice to see. It's great. There's a lot of family-owned companies, a lot of family-run companies. You know them all. Most of the people listening and watching know who they are. And it's nice when you see that continue to grow. more of the family involved and doing stuff together, and it makes it special. It really does. I really mean that.
Yeah. Thank you.
It really is. It's something special. Fortunately, you got your dad who's been around a long time. Your brother who's been involved now for how long? How long has Tony actually been working with the company and
So
blending and
he
all
hopped
that?
on a rep. He hopped on as a rep right after graduating college.
Okay,
Which was John. How long ago was this? This was like
so about the
Man,
same age as you,
I think he
basically.
started. I think he started in 2009.
Okay,
yeah. So he started as a rep in 2009. He was on the road for a couple of years, and then that's when Litto deemed that, yeah, you know what, if you want to come to the DR, you can. It's a lot of work, and he went with it. He took it, and he's been great ever since.
so are you
As you guys know.
are you gonna kind of follow the same
Yeah.
footsteps as
So
starting as a rep and then maybe work your
yes.
way to the factory?
Yeah. So as of now, the plan is, and hopefully it stays this way, that come January, I'll be the rep for the Northeast sales territory. So super excited. I've been traveling up with John for the past couple weeks, and I have to say I'm in love with the area, in love with the territory and the people itself. And yeah, so I'll be up there for a couple of years. I don't really have a timestamp on it. I'll just kind of write it out, see, grow the territory, and make sure my accounts are happy. Then once it's time to go down, I'll go down, and I'm excited for it too. I enjoy both aspects of the company and the two different sides a lot. I'm a very social person, so being in that, whether it's a humid or lounge, I enjoy it. But I'm also as happy as being in the Dominican Republic, disassociated from the world, just heading to work and getting it done. So, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to go around to all the shops and meet all the different shop owners and meet the
hundred
consumers
percent.
in those stores and kind of learn that side of the business. Which I mean, John, I mean, you've been doing this a long time. You can vouch for it. It's an exhausting part of the business as well. A lot of travel, a lot of moving around, a lot of events. But another brick on the road, so to speak. It's kind of what those who came before you did. So now it's your turn.
Yeah, of course.
Passing the torch, so to
And
speak.
speaking on the brick in the road thing, that's also um, it wasn't so that it was in the path, but I was just like, you know what, like if I'm, and this is with everything I do. If I do something, I'm going to take a look back and I'm going to be like, look, if this was a process for this person, I want to join the same process, and I'm not going to take any shortcuts. And I was, when the position was offered to be a rep, I jumped up and I was like very excited about it.
So this is something that you've been waiting for, then, that you were.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I've been in the back of every meeting. Pick me.
So this,
Pick me. Hello.
so this isn't one of those things where like your dad's like, hey, you really should get involved, and you're like, I don't know, like,
At
no,
all,
you're
at
in.
all.
You
And
want this,
no,
you're in for it.
it's and I don't mean this in a negative way because I know I am as a kid. At a point, it was like, holy shit, he doesn't stop. It's like we gotta get him something to do because he's gonna drive us nuts. Because with everything, I'm just like, oh, let me do it. Let me do it. Well, I got it.
So
And
this
for a
is,
while, I was
there's some
underage for
fun stuff about it. With any type of consumer based product, the consumer is the most important aspect of the business. So
Yeah.
everything you're producing is to make them happy and enjoy it, right?
right.
So the the structure itself is very important on the base, but it all comes together at the end, at the top of the pyramid to the end consumer. So you've got to watch it. Unfortunately, you've had the opportunity to be involved in it and growing up and be close close to it. So it's, there's a lot of things you get to see, but the end consumer is what's the most important part. His dad
Yeah.
tells stories. He's like, it's my job to make these cigars so I don't F up, your great experience that you have. Like, if I screw that up, it's a big mistake. So being close to that with the end consumers is really a huge part of it, and really it's where the glory's at, to get to see somebody enjoy the product,
Yeah.
somebody compliment you on it's a really great side of it. But it all does stream down in there is something magical and great about being involved in both aspects of it. And I think the size of the company and the close-knit nature of the family that's involved. I mean, really everybody's involved in some aspect of it, you know, whether it's an opinion, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Sometimes it's just to get another vote, you know, like, hey, LG, what do you think of this? You know, Tony would be like, hey, what did you think? Do you think this looks good or this one looks better? And you know, it's sometimes because they're just sitting there with his dad, and his dad may be like, I don't like this, see what they think. But it's unique to have that side and have that aspect of the business. And you know, being on the road, we've got a couple more trips planned before the end of the summer, and he'll slowly be taking over in the winter months. Obviously, the weather's not friendly, but we got 2 more big trips planned, specifically in New England and New York. At the end of July, we're going to be up in New York City for a couple events. One thing in Brooklyn that we got doing a little meet and greet thing there, and then one out in Long Island. And then we've got another trip planned where we're going to be up in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and in Maine for a few days visiting accounts through there. And then we'll get the ball rolling again in the winter months, and we'll go from there.
Basically, what I take away from all this, Litto, is now, technically, John's really going to be your boss now. You have to listen to him.
No, he is my boss.
And you have to,
I've been having an existential crisis about it.
I would be too. You know, I love John. Don't get me wrong. I love John. I could never work for John. I could never do it.
I don't know I can either. And that's what that's the whole thing now that we got to see.
I like to hang out with John, but I couldn't work for him because he's tough, man.
Right. Well, I'll say right now during the summer he's more like my sidekick. So it'll be a little different once we actually get rolling. And you know, we've all talked about this internally. Like, you know, it's just I grew up in family businesses, working in it, and too. There's obviously unique challenges, and there's also unique things being part of the family, you know, and it being your family's business. So I think a lot of the things that I did growing up, my dad's actually sitting right over here beside me too. And however, he doesn't have a bubble machine that he's blowing towards me. No bubble machine. But I'm not encouraging you.
That's a blessing, man.
Mischievous at this point in time.
He's not trying to master biscotti either.
Yeah. No, but he's about to light up a 1994 Rumba. So he's smoking LFD too.
Well,
but no, it's the thing that's going to be important to me, which was great when I was growing up in my family's businesses. You know, I was afforded opportunities because my family owned the company. But once I got to work, you know, I was held to the same standards. So, you know, he's going to be, you know, Litto's going to be competing with the salespeople for sales. He's going to be competing with the salespeople on performance reviews and everything like that. So I think that's where there'll be a lot of respect that comes with there. But I think that's going to be a more challenging part, but also good at the same time. You know, we have a great relationship and a lot of respect, and you know, we have the same goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited, you know, to see Litto around my neck of the woods more often. It's gonna be. I'm gonna probably see him more than I'm gonna see you.
Yeah. By the way, guys, I'm getting chewed.
That's a good thing.
Alive right now. When the sun goes down at like 7:30, 7:45 until about 8:15 up here in Maine in the woods, you get the mosquitoes come out, and the smoke's helping. But if you keep seeing me scratching my head, it's because I'm getting chewed up here. But it'll go away in about 10 minutes.
Oh, all right. Well, thank God for that, because I thought you were gonna leave. I was like, oh wait, no. But you're gonna tough it out. I appreciate that.
He's gonna tough it.
No,
I appreciate that. That's cool.
Now, Litto, obviously, like mentioned many times, it's a family business. Do you feel like between you and your dad and your brother and kind of everyone involved, do you feel that there's a bit of natural competitiveness, or is it more like a natural, like, try to build everyone up? You know, having siblings, I know things can get pretty competitive.
That's a great question.
It is a good question.
I'm happy you asked it. So, well, first and foremost, we all know at the end of the day that we are a team, and everybody has their place right now. At the bottom half of the team. However, at the same time, I'm obscenely competitive by nature. My father's as well. So is my brother. So
it's a good trait to have.
No, it's great. And I'm proud of it. Like, if I play you in anything, I'm trying to kick your ass. So this is the way I operate. And everyone else is like that. So we all have the same intention as in mind. grow the business, but I'm gonna kick your fucking ass.
Oh, shots
And,
fired.
that's kind of just the group mentality, which is a great thing to have. Because if one of us were like that, I don't think LFD will be where it is now, or I don't think that it'll grow in the future. So I'm happy the way it is. I love it. I thrive off competition. So
Well, it's a good thing. Competition is good for everybody because at the end of the day, to some degree, as long as it doesn't get out of hand,
no, of course.
but in terms of business or making cigars, right? It keeps you innovating. It keeps you trying to find new ways to do something different or do something better than your competitors. So I mean, it's a good thing, and
And
to use that to
at
your
the end of
advantage.
the day, I just want to point out,
Go
even
ahead.
though it is that hard competitive environment, it's also to a point where if someone beats you, or if we're talking about ideas and somebody has a better idea, there is that mutual respect. And if someone had the better idea, we could all come down and acknowledge it, and we will go with it, and there won't be any arguments. No, we're not going to talk about it after. We'll get up and we'll move on. And that's how it's been, and that's how it will continue to be.
Well,
Yeah, as I said, while we were talking about, training or whatever, like everyone has the same goal in mind, and it's okay to have disagreements, and it's okay to be annoyed by things. And I would say, I've always said this about his mother and father is, coming to a decision is the most important part, and coming to a decision is going to be best for him. And then when a decision's made, everybody goes about their business and does their job with the same mutual focus on the same goal. So yeah, there's obviously disagreements or difference of opinions or ideas that you think may work and whatnot, but taking a little bit from everyone, there's always a great opportunity. But the most important thing is to make sure everybody's moving forward at the same time, and I think
Yeah,
that's been one of the major successes of the company and the family over over the last 29 years, coinciding with each other, where it's once the decision is made, go ahead with it, and hey, this is what we're going to do, and this is how it's going to work out. And if it doesn't work, we all go down together and then we figure it out again. But fortunately, there's been a lot more hits than there's been strikeouts.
Definitely.
yeah, absolutely, guys. Let's take a quick break. Let's take our let's get our sorry, I couldn't talk there for a second. Let's head to our news segment. Sorry, I'm gonna grab some water.
Can we just let Mitchell do this in French? It would be easier.
Kenny, I don't know. Can you?
I don't know.
Bonjour.
Well, he lives on the West Coast. I don't think bonjour. I don't think they speak as much French out there as they do over here on my side.
Je parle un peu de français, mais pas beaucoup. Probably not enough to do the whole news segment.
Wow.
Juste un petit peu. Juste un petit peu.
Not bad.
No, yeah, that was more than that was more than I expected actually. Our news is once again brought to you by McAuliffe Cigars. If you head over to McAuliffeCigars.com today, you can check out the new McAuliffe Black. It's blackout. Rated 91 by SmokinTabacco.com. 91? Yeah, it was 91. Was it 91 or 90?
Yes, it was 91.
91, yeah. Rated 91 at SmokinTabacco.com. Sorry, it's so much going on these days.
You didn't write the article, so
I didn't. It was done by Kevin, so all the credit to him. Kevin gave it a 91. So yeah, check that out today. McAuliffe Black. It's a blackout debuting at the PCA Trade Show this weekend. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff. I'm kind of gonna do what I did last week.
I got news too.
You have news? All right. Hold on a
I
second.
have cigar news.
you do.
Yeah.
All right.
Not about
Well,
LSD,
Johnny
except
with
cigar
Brie.
news.
all right. Well, go ahead. Well, let's throw that out there first. Cause now I'm intrigued.
So I'm from a town called Lincoln, Maine, and I don't know if you guys covered this, if we covered it on Smokin Tabacco or not, but something's really unique in the cigar business that's happening this year. There's a company called Houghton and Young,
Yes.
and Norm Houghton was part of Operation Gothic Serpent, and 5 years ago they came out with a cigar brand called Houghton and Young. And what Operation Gothic Serpent was the special operations. You can read about this a little bit more in depth. Special operations operation that was the focus of the movie Black Hawk Down.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay.
today, this year is the 30th anniversary of that operation. and they're coming out with a brand new cigar for it. They're going to be showing at the PCA show. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is there was on their boxes, there's 19 stars on their boxes. And those 19 stars are from the 19 gentlemen that did not come back from that. And one of them was from my town. His name was Master Sergeant Gary Gordon. And this is the 30th anniversary will be actually in October. And there's actually a statue of Gary Gordon and a whole remembrance of Operation Gothic Serpent in my town. And the unique thing of it is my town is a very small town. It's 2,200 people. So I went down there today and took some pictures of the of Gary's statue and his memorial that was down there. And I'm going to share it with them at the trade show this year. But here's just a little picture of it you can see. But that's a connection to the cigar business. They just announced that this week. So that's something that I'm very excited about. And I've met them before, and I'm looking forward to sharing this with them because I'm not sure that they've seen that. But he's one of the stars on the box. So this is cigar news that you won't see anywhere else except on Smokin Tabacco. I promise you that.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, John. That's awesome, especially with 4th of July being yesterday. Very patriotic. Very awesome. Thank you.
If you haven't seen Black Hawk Down, you have to go watch the movie.
Oh yeah,
and understand what went down.
And that's coming from a Canadian.
Honestly, it's one of my favorite movies. It's awesome.
No, it is. It is a good movie, and I can't believe that's already been 30 years. That's quite a long time because. I mean, I remember when that movie came out too.
It's the 30-year anniversary of the operation, which was in 1990.
Yeah.
It's not the 30-year anniversary of the movie.
No, I know, but
so,
even still, I
really
can't believe the movie's been out that long.
Yeah, it's wild.
Because that movie came out like 2000? I mean, that was a long time ago.
2004, something like that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a really unique thing, and it's such a a thing that's close to my heart because my family and my town. He's a hometown hero, and to see that product coming out celebrating 30 years is something really special. And he's one of the stars on there that sacrificed for us, and to see that in the packaging is something that's really special and celebrating him. So I'm going to be picking some of those up as soon as I can to bring them up here to home to enjoy them here with some friends and family. So good news for you. There you go. That's the John Carney Smokin Tabacco news for you, brought to you by Gallup Cigars.
Absolutely. Look at that. It's like old times. John's here giving out the news. That'll be our main news thing. I was just going to mention a couple of highlights of stuff that's coming out of the show. Obviously, that one, you can't beat that, but Tatawahe's bringing some new stuff. They're bringing some new sizes of the L'Atelier, the Roxy. They're bringing a 20th anniversary cigar. CLE is bringing PCA exclusives for CLE, Aroa, and Asylum. Those will all be at the show. Espinosa has announced the 5th Las Seis Provincias, the ZDT. That'll be shown at the Espinosa booth, along with some more stuff with Knuckle Sandwich with Guy Fieri at the trade show. The Opus X Society, part of Mini Ariarte Enterprises, announced that they will be showing a Opus X. The new Opus X will be shown. That'll be for Opus X Society at the trade show. That's another one to keep an eye out for as we get our coverage underway. And there's a lot more, and you can read about it at smokintabacco.com, where all of our trade show coverage before, during, and after the show will be. So let's head back to the show. Let's bring Litto back on here. What's with the plates again?
Sounds like those biscottis are really just ramping up.
Did he burn those again?
Making.
Hey, look. If you guys think it's annoying for you guys, imagine hearing that shit all day, every day that he's in town. Oh, and that or Ashtray and Laboratory, which a lot of you think is in the Dominican Republic, is actually 10 feet that way, and that's equally as loud. So, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't annoying to me. I just was concerned. I thought maybe there was some distress in the house, and
I'm also concerned, and that's why I'm not going over there.
I hope they get finished. I hope they get finished, and we get a live review of the biscotti.
I know.
Hey, what we should do is we should have him bring all them to Vegas. and
Yeah, you
hand
should.
them out.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
And we should dress him up too with a silver platter and have him at the
Mm.
entry of the booth. I think it's beautiful.
You gonna make your dad stand at the edge of the booth giving up a Scotty?
Oh yeah.
That'd be a sight to see. I can't. I honestly, I wish you would tell him that. I can't wait to see his reaction when you say, "Hey, Dad, why don't you stand there with a platter and give up a Scotty?" Me and Tony got this.
He'll do it. He'll do it.
Oh boy.
We have a special. We've got a full group of people coming with us here. We got some office staff coming with us, support staff,
Right.
and we have one of our
Interns.
interns coming, and he would gladly stand there with the biscotti.
Oh,
because
he will
he's
gladly hand out
Yeah.
Litto Gomez Jr.
Yeah, yeah, he's
You can make
already
him wear an
asked-
apron.
Because he's like, I'll do anything you ask me to. I'm like, oh, we're in Vegas, man. I'm like, we're gonna have you running all over the place, bro.
He told you that?
Yeah, he's like, I'll be willing.
Oh.
So just let me know. I'll be happy to do it. I'm like, yeah,
Beautiful.
you're gonna be running around for coffees, water. I go, it's gonna be out of control, man. You're gonna have a busy week.
Hey, John's staple 9 a.m. red wine.
9 a.m. red wine.
There was only
It
was one time.
It was one time. It was one time.
It was
was
just
one year
once.
where-
There's nothing
there's-
wrong with it.
Yeah, so here's some inside stuff. There was 1 year that I was at the trade show. I was quite svelte. I was in very good shape that year. It was one of my years I was in the best shape. After several years I have, and I'll be back again. But that year I didn't drink at all because I had a really bad balance disorder, and the whole time it was really
Yes.
tough being in there with all the lights on. I know you and I have talked a lot about it, Matt.
Mhm.
However, the last night of the show, I did go out to dinner. And we did have some drinks. So the very next morning, it was required to have a 9 a.m. wine to counteract the effects. So, usually I wait till at least 10 or 11.
See, medical excuse. That's
You
all.
see,
Yeah.
that's reasonable.
It was a
Like Winston
medical
Churchill.
thing.
No, it was.
Yeah, it's like Winston Churchill, man. I had a prescription.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
being reckless. He
Exactly.
needed it. He needed it to survive. How can you knock a guy like that? Jeez. But hey, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw you drinking red wine at the bar, like 8:30 in the hotel. You're like, "Hey, what's going on?" Be like, "Oh, what you got there, little Pinot Noir? 8:30, nice. I like to start my day dangerously too." Man. So one of the questions I did have though, going back to the LG, I don't think we talked about it, but I was curious. What is the production on that? Is there a set number that were produced for this, or that are going to be available, or is it undisclosed?
So we don't have a set number, no, but it will be a limited production item,
Yeah.
and we will be treating it as all the other products under our limited production,
Okay.
such as the Bull, the Solis, Monox. Yeah, we don't have like a set date of when we're pulling it out. As of now, we're gonna keep it going for time being.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious. I mean, I know that's a little bit different than some of the other stuff you guys have available. So
It's a good question.
Yeah, the product's in production right now.
okay.
The boxes and things they're starting to be produced. Some of the boxes that'll be on display will be the first boxes you see. This is most likely something you're going to see in the fall, early, mid to late fall, most likely. And then we also have the TAA version, the Emerald, the Emerald, that's going to be coming out towards the end of the year as well. So there's going to be the next 6 months is going to be a lot of LG focus, and it's going to be real fun to relaunch it. And honestly, we're kind of navigating it in new waters, So it's see what happens with it, see where the excitement levels on it, and I think it's going to be high. And that's going to kind of judge where we go with it next year too. So it's fun. It's kind of like relaunching a new product.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, 8 years is a long time. It's pretty much like
Yeah.
re-releasing.
That's what I was just about to say too. I mean,
I've never had an LG, so I mean, for me, like
You
you
will.
mentioned before,
You will.
it will be a brand new introduction for me. I'll have no basis to go off of what it was before.
No, you will. I have some. I'm bringing them
You
out.
think if someone right now that's 26 years old, that's a cigar smoker, that's the 26. There's a lot of younger cigar smokers.
Absolutely.
8 years ago, they couldn't even enjoy it. So this wasn't something they even really knew
Yeah.
about, unless they grab something. There are people that hold on to them, and age them, and have them in vintage rooms and whatnot. You occasionally run into them. But you said for a lot of new people, it's going to be a new product, a new release, and I think you'll see that in some of the some of the blogs and some of the commenting things online. You'll see it. It's going to be it's really it is a re-release. It's something that we used to do annually, and we're going to return to it. But it's brand new. It's something brand new essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I packed a lot of LFD, and that's not just because I'm not saying that because these two guys are here. I mean, I packed a lot of LFD. You had told me you wanted to smoke some LFD. Being in Canada, you're geographically challenged. I made sure that I brought LFD for you to enjoy.
They
because I
actually
don't want
have
you to-
distribution here.
Yeah, but I know.
It's very limited though.
Yeah.
Very, very limited.
Yeah. Our distribution in Canada kind of focuses in Ontario and then out.
Yep.
And as it goes out, it kind of gets diluted because the demand really focuses on Ontario. And then then the tax challenges there. There's provincial taxes. There's challenges on that side.
Plain packaging.
British Columbia, British Columbia has a different tax structure than Quebec.
Yep.
It has a different tax structure than New Brunswick. It has a different tax structure than Ontario, and then the population bases and whatnot too. So it is challenging in some of those markets, and then price point wise, it's insanity. And we had Tony and I went one year. This is probably 6-7 years ago. We went to Toronto and did some events up there. We had a guy that came to an event just to buy a box of bowls from Tony and have him sign it. Dude, it was $900, and the retailer still made the same amount of money. So say the retailer makes $10 a cigar or whatever, they still made like $100, but it was like $800 in provincial and federal taxes. I mean,
Yep.
It's out of control, some of that stuff up there. But when you're selling it, it's a point that we're talking about, is when you're making it, you've got to take that into regard. And I think our products, I think the LFD brand and the Flor Dominicana does great in those environments because one, we're not overmade, we're not overproduced, demand's very high.
Yep.
But if you're going to pay, you're going to be very, it's important that you enjoy that moment and we don't screw it up. So that I think there's a lot of confidence behind it.
No, that's
It does
true.
well up here. It does really well up here.
No, I think what John said is true, and it kind of is the same golden rule, so to speak, that I think every manufacturer tries to live by. I think some do it better than others, obviously. LFD is no exception. They don't they're really focused on what they produce, and while it not be as many as some people would hope, because of how I don't want to say small, but because of whatever the size is of the production that you do, it's at a size that's very manageable. And because it's so manageable, you can focus so much on the quality control, which outside of the blending and stuff, which it's important. I'm not discrediting that. But quality control and keeping all the products
that's number
consistent
one, man.
and consistent. So you buy a box of Bulls or you buy a box of Lennox or Solis or, just Harrows, Diggers, whatever it is. You buy it up here and then you buy a box somewhere else, they're going to be the same. Or they should be the same. And that's at the end of the day, like John said, for some people, that's a reality. They have to spend money like that to get cigars that they want. So it's like, if you're going to go through all that, the cigar better be pretty fucking good. Because I can tell you right now, up in Canada, Cuban cigars are legal, right? And it's no secret that Cuban cigars don't have the best quality control. So it's like, you look at the prices of some of those cigars, I mean, you're paying over $1,000, $2,000 for a box. You take it home, and half the box isn't even smokable, and it's like, what a waste, So at least you can say with brands like LFD and others, if you have to spend a pretty penny for those cigars, you're gonna get, everything you paid out of them. They're gonna perform.
Yeah.
They're gonna taste good. They're gonna burn right. And if they're not, and if they don't, if you do have an issue, either your retailer, or you contact one of these guys from LFD, and I know that they'll make it right for you. Like, hey, that's not right. Let's fix that for you. So, and that goes into the customer satisfaction as well. So, very important things being covered here tonight, which doesn't hurt. It's true. It's good stuff to talk about. So getting towards the end of the show, I know we only have a little bit left. I'm trying not to keep this one super long because I have to do my very last minute packing of the stuff that I haven't finished yet, and I got to hit the hay pretty early tonight. So I'm not going to keep us on here for too long. But first of all, I want to say to both of the gentlemen from La Flor Dominicana, thank you for being here, including John Carney, who technically is not a guest. But I'm still glad that you're here because we haven't seen you in a while, so this is nice.
Good to be back.
Last time I think I saw you was when you popped up on Spare Notes very briefly during the NBA playoffs, which was a good time. And I just, I wanted to say while we're on the air, something has to be done about William Cooper's hate. I don't know what it is with that man.
Yeah.
But, it just, you post a value meal. It's not a gourmet meal. You post a value meal that you enjoy. And of course, Coop's going to come out of the woodwork and, try to knock you down a few pegs. I don't know.
He's just got opinions,
I know.
He's there
just let people live their life,
okay.
man. Who cares?
Did you post a meal recently that he was angry at?
I did. So I posted. Me and Nicole went to Costco, and we had some Costco pizza and a Costco hot dog.
It's amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you.
It's like the best pizza ever.
It's a value, but it's great.
Yeah.
For $7.
It's like a $6 meal. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no. When Mr. William Cooper saw that post, and I can't believe that, that's not a hot dog. You put, that pizza looks garbage and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I would never set foot in a Costco. You're missing out, Coop. I'm just going to say. Coop's hating on Costco pizza. I mean, he gives me shit because I go to a place that I never even heard of before and I didn't get the cheesecake at breakfast time. I mean, hello. I mean, he just, giving
Coop
Terrence,
lives the luxury life. He doesn't need to go to Costco.
Yeah, he gives Terrence Riley a hard time because, they just, I don't know. Coop just he gives everyone a hard time about what they eat, and it's like, this hate has to stop.
Coop, man.
I've got a good wrap up question for me as we go in. So I'll play a Smokin Tabacco roll. What is the one thing, Litto, this year at the show above anything? Because I know you really you enjoy going out. And it's you love the tradition of it. But what's the one thing that's standing out to you this year that's a big focus for you personally? Because I know for me, I've got I'll tell you what my focus is after, but. Besides doing my actual job, like what's the one big focus for you on a personal level that you're hoping to achieve?
As always, man, and with all these events, my main thing is to connect with all of you who continuously support our product, and make sure that one, you guys are happy with us, and two, that we are treating you the way you should be treated. But as well, man, honestly, like as long as I'm like myself and I'm not trying to be someone that I'm not, and I go into this the right way, that's kind of it, man. I love these moments. I love the industry. I love seeing everybody catching up, connecting, and yeah, that's my thing. Also, I guess the LGs, that's huge. There's a lot of history tied with LFD to that cigar, as well with us as the kids, extremely personally. I don't know if any of you have ever heard this. So my dad gave my brother an LG as his first smoke, and he told him that the proper way to taste a cigar was by inhaling it, and he did, and he was puking his brains out for the next 48 hours. So
wow.
yeah, so that's kind of which it's a great story. He tried fooling me with that one day, didn't work.
I was gonna say, did you fall for the same trick? But
absolutely not. I'm not my brother. You're gonna tell.
Wow.
And no, but yeah, dude, I'm excited to see how the reaction for that is, as well as to see everyone. So yeah,
it's always a great time,
Always.
In addition to the business that gets done, almost everyone from that industry is together in there, and it is great to see everybody and catch up. Even for you guys, the manufacturers, your peers and competitors, It's great to see each other and whatnot, because I know you guys spend so much time in the factory, in the office, on the road, building your brands, that you don't have a lot of time to connect with some of those people, and so it's great. It is a good time.
I'll say for me, this year, last year was an interesting show in terms of being at the forefront of providing information outside of our retailers.
Yep.
So you had Litto was releasing Solis last year. So when media came, there was a lot. We wanted to make sure they talked to Litto on that. Tony was working on the NFT project, so everyone was talking to Tony. So they were really actively involved in all that. So a personal goal of mine, outside of the many other goals we have, I'm gonna this year I'm gonna get to be a little more high profile again on a media level, which will be nice because I enjoy doing that. I enjoy the interviews. I'm not going to do them all. We'll split them up depending on who wants to talk to who. But last year it was really taking a back seat because there were two people that had two projects that were distinctly them talking about it. So I guess long story short, is people in the comment, they're going to be like, "Oh, John Carney, one thing he wants to do is talk more this year." So that's one of my goals, is to talk more this year.
And stop hating on John Carney. I don't understand why people have to throw.
Who hates on John Carney?
I know.
They're just jealous of his beautiful Crocs and his great soap reviews.
Yeah,
I know.
I got some great outfits this year too. The clothing game is going to be huge this year at the show.
I got a new suit for the show.
For us. Yep. Yeah, I got 3 brand new outfits, and we're gonna be ready to go. So no, I'm excited, man. It's fun. I think there's going to be a lot of excitement around PCA. There's a ton of excitement around what we're doing. I know our team's
Do any of
excited. We've
these
got a
new
really good group.
outfits have red?
No red. I got pink. Yep.
Ooh,
Close enough.
Pink.
Okay.
Like a pink,
Shade
like
of red.
like a pink jacket.
You'll have to wait and see.
Oh God, John.
So,
boy.
no, really nice. Everything's very tasteful, very tastefully done. But no, it's going to be a great year, man. I'm excited for tomorrow. It's looking forward to the show. The weirdest part of it's going to be that about 6 months after the show, there's another show. So it'll be it's going to be a marathon, a marathon sprint from the moment the show's over to getting new product out, and then in 6 months you're announcing new product at the same time you're coming on other things. So there's a lot of fun dynamics going to go on in the next 6-7 months, and they all start tomorrow, really.
Yeah, it's a crazy time of the year, and I'm excited for it to happen, and I'm also excited for it to be over.
Yeah.
It's a busy time, and I'm sure you guys are too. It's just one of those things, It's a lot of energy.
Now we love it, man. Honestly, it's bittersweet. Like it's
Yeah.
a busy 4 or 5 days, but when it's over, you're it's like leaving summer camp almost, where you're like, man, I wish there was a couple extra days. But I'm happy to sleep, but I wish there was a couple extra days. And it is just there's nothing quite like it, quite like the cigar industry when it comes together. And I really think PCA is doing some great things this year too. So I think it's going to be a great year for the show.
Me too.
I'm excited.
Like kind of, John, what you touched on there at the end, outside of what you all as manufacturers are doing, I think the PCA is made some changes, and it sounds like some of those changes have benefited. Some people are coming back to the trade show, and it sounds like attendance so far is creeping back up to the trade show, which are all good things. It's good for everybody. So as a whole, I'm excited to see how this trade show goes on and the end result, and hopefully we're just continuing to go in the right direction with the trade show. I know it's been a topic of conversation in the last couple of years, and there's been some mistakes that were made, but it sounds like some of those mistakes are being fixed and moved on from. So just happy to see that as well. But guys, we're running out of time. I want to thank both of you for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. It's always great to see you. I'm going to get to see you guys probably tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, yeah.
So we'll, I know John and I both roll into town tomorrow. So, John, I might even see you at the airport. Our flights are pretty close. So
Potentially. Just a heads up to all parties involved that may be expecting to see me tomorrow. I am at a different hotel tomorrow night, and I'm checking into the Venetian on Friday. So the likelihood, unless someone wants to have dinner or whatnot, is the likelihood of people seeing me tomorrow is very low.
Yeah, present
Well, it's already started.
present party excluded.
I'm not going to announce my hotel on online just in case.
I'm pretty
No,
sure
I'm
I know what
staying at the
hotel it is, but I won't say. I'll keep
I'm
that
staying
to
at the
myself.
No, I'm staying at the Renaissance tomorrow night. The first night I get in, I always stay at a Marriott property, and it's usually the one right around the corner. The problem is the room blocks are always screwy, and then if you miss the room block with the date you're flying out, the Venetian's non-room block rate is like $700.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
control. It's out of control.
It's ridiculous. It
For
is.
like 8 hours of rest, it's just not worth it. So
No. I can't blame you, you know. But yeah, so it all goes down tomorrow. Kind of. There'll be some stuff, I guess, out there. But Friday night is really when, you know, it really kicks off. And then Saturday morning, the trade show floor opens. So the next several days are going to be pretty intense. So hang on with us as we embark on this journey together through time and space. Thank you for
To
everyone
the
for...
mighty.
What? What were you going to say?
To the mighty boosh.
Thank you. That's why I love you, Mitchell.
Well,
you get the references.
the quote he had, I thought that was a Twilight Zone quote.
Come with us now on a journey through time and space to the world of the mighty Boosh. That's what I was going for.
That's what it's from.
Mitchell got it. I like that. See, Mitchell, I always underestimate what he knows. But no, so we're excited for that. Thank you for listening and watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all of our social media platforms, as well as everywhere you can find your podcasts. And as always, visit smokintabacco.com for more news, reviews, and of course, our 2023 Premium Cigar Association Trade Show and Convention, brought to you by Drew Estate, the rebirth of cigars. We'll see you next week for our PCA wrap-up show. Same time, same place. We'll see you there. Take care, everybody.
Good night.